Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn a literature lesson that is a poem from class 5, subject English, that is the Skylark. Actually, Skylark is a small bird. It is a symbol of joyous spirit of the divine. So, at first, we discuss the word meaning of this poem. After that, we learn the summary of this poem, and at last, we learn the detailed explanation of this poem stanza by stanza. Okay. So now, here is the word meanings of this poem. Please write down in your notebook. Hang between the trees. It means flying between the sky and earth. Speck, a tiny dot. Singing speck, the skylark. A stage, a flat landscape. Gay, happy, a card, gift. Soared, flew high. Tender green, it means light green. Paused, stopped. Swift, quickly, fast. Sunny moments, it means happy time. Slid, slid is the past tense of slide. It means move or past. So, this is the word meaning. Please write down in your notebook. Okay. Now, we learn the summary of this poem. What is a skylark? Skylark is a type of small bird. It is a beautiful bird and it is the symbol of joyous and spirit of divine. Okay. The summary is like that. The poem The Skylark describes a beautiful and peaceful scenery of nature. It describes the beautiful scene in nature. This poem is a celebration of life, nature, and also love. It shows the love towards the nature of a bird. It is all about a basic description of the song of a skylark. In this poem, we learn that a skylark, how the skylark is singing above the cornfield. So this poem is a basic description of the song of skylark. The poet seems to be in peace. Actually, the poet of this poem was Christina Rossetti, and she was in the field, in that field where the skylark is singing above the cornfield. So the poet seems or feel very peaceful environment in that particular field or cornfield. The poet seems to be enjoying the sight of a skylark in a calm setting. A skylark is flying between the green earth and the blue or clear sky above the cornfield. It looks like a singing speck above the cornfield. Actually, the skylark was flying very higher than the field, so it seems like a tiny dot. So, the poet Christina Rossetti uses the term singing speck, or the singing speck means she denotes that particular bird. The bird is the skylark. Okay, so it looks like a singing speck above the cornfield. The skylark lies effortlessly up in the sky, and the poet walks in between the cornfield and says that the nest of the skylark is somewhere among the stalk of the cornfield. She feels that the skylark was flying above that cornfield just because its nest was hidden somewhere among the stalks of cornfield. The poet stops for a moment in that cornfield to hear the song of the skylark. She imagines that her companion is listening to. The poet imagines or realizes that the companion, that the friend of the Skylark is listening to, is listening, also listening the song of the Skylark somewhere in the cornfield. And the day was over, so the poet Christina Rossetti says that she has to go home because the day was over and the sunset has happened. So this is the summary of this poem. Now please take out your textbook and read with me stanza by stanza of the poem. So the poem is like that. The earth was green, the sky was blue. I saw and heard one sunny morn, a skylark hang between the two, a singing speck above the corn. Here, the morn means morning, and skylark is a type of small bird. Speck means dot, or singing speck means the sky. So, in the first stanza, the poet have seen a skylark singing happily on a sunny morning, a bright sunny morning. She saw a skylark singing happily above the cornfield and also flying happily above the cornfield. The skylark singing between the green earth and the blue or clear sky. So the poet wanted to tell us that she goes to the cornfield. The sky was blue, meaning she saw that the sky was clear. There was a bright sunlight. She finds the earth green because she is standing in the cornfield. She saw a speck or dot above the cornfield or in the sky. She found that there was a small bird, that is a skylark, that was flying between the earth and the sky and was singing or chirping very beautifully above the cornfield. In the second stanza, a stage below, in gay accord, white butterflies danced on the wing, and still the singing skylark soared, and silent sang and soared to sing. Stage below, it means a landscape, a flat landscape or the land on earth, also called stage below. Here, gay means happy and accord means gift. Soared means flew high or flew higher and higher. Okay, so in the second stanza, the poet Christina Rossetti said, the skylark was flying up and the land below looked very happy. The poet said that the skylark, which was flying above the cornfield or flying in the sky, and the land just below it was looked very happily, was looked very happy, and where the white butterflies are dancing or flying also with happy, with lots of happiness or gloriness. The poet said the skylark flew higher and higher and continued its singing, and also through its singing the environment becomes so peaceful, so calmful, and every creature nearby the skylark was feeling that joy or happiness. In the third stanza, the cornfield stretched a tender green to right and left beside my walks. I knew he had a nest unseen, somewhere among the million stalks. Stretch, it means spread or expand. Tender greens, it means light green. Stalk means stem. Here the stalk of corn, it means the stem of corns. So, in the third stanza, the poet said that there was a big cornfield which was stretching or expanding Rosity was standing in the middle path of the field, and its and her both side the cornfield was stretched or spread. The poet believes that the skylark has its nest somewhere hidden in the cornfield or hidden among the millions of stalks of the cornfield. The poet said that the skylark has its nest somewhere here in the cornfield and somewhere among the millions of stems of the cornfield. In the last and fourth stanza, the poet said, "And as I paused to hear his song, while swift the sunny movement slid, perhaps his mate sat listening long, and listened longer than I did." Paused means stop. Slid is the past tense of slide, means moved. Mate, it means friends or companion. Here in the last line, and listen longer than I did. Here I refers to the poet Christina Rossetti. In the final stanza, the poet said she liked the song very much, so much that the skylark was singing, and she stopped and listened the song of the skylark as long as she did. She didn't even realize that the sunny day has passed very soon, so soon. While listening the song of the skylark, she didn't realize that the sunny day has passed, that the sunny day has finished, has moved. Now the poet has to go home because the day was over, because the day was past. So she, so she says, his friends means friends of the skylark or mate of the skylark sat here or there in the cornfield and listening the song of the skylark too. She says that the companion of the skylark was near the cornfield and also they listened the song of the skylark so longer than I did. It means, I means Christina Rossetti says that the sunny day was over, that the day has passed, so she has to go home, and she says that she cannot stand here for a long time because the day has passed and the evening and it has become evening, so she has to go home. And also she refers that the friends of the skylark was listening to the singing of skylark, so she has to go because their mate, because the skylark's mate listening the song longer than I did, longer than me. It means longer than the Christina Rossetti. So she has to go home. So this is the poem, The Skylark. I hope you understand the poem and also got up the theme of the poem. So yeah, this is the end of this poem. Please do the exercise question of the poem. Thank you. Have a nice day.